Your destination is on the left.
Gotti, myself. We want to get back out there. Meet as many of you as we possibly need. And get the interviews from those of you mainstream media has been ignoring. We're not ignoring.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 20. Literally, episode 20 of the Love America Tour Love Stream. So, couple of milestones here and there. 20. It's hard to believe we've done 20 episodes, and we're still going strong and getting bigger. It's absolutely incredible. And in this episode, I thought it'd be cool if we did a couple of cool new things. So there will be hopefully a visual new thing. Please pardon the coffee pot. It's essential equipment. Everybody needs a coffee pot. But yeah, we have a couple of new things to show you some of the stuff that we're kind of playing with for the live streams, and then also during the course of things as they play out today, we're gonna be getting updates on a bunch of things, but not until we actually have the understanding to understand them, because I'm still learning all of that too. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the chat. Julie Walker, Michelle Arwood, Krabby Patty, Samantha, Sam, Jen, Rachel, KZ, Julie again, KZ again, Sam again. Hello all. Happy to Stacy. Well, how are you? And glad to see everybody is coming back. Real quick, let's go through some news and announcements. First of all, some of the YouTube when you have a YouTube channel, there's this thing called monetization, and we broadcast the Love America Tour broadcast from Corin Nemec TV, the YouTube channel. Well, in order for that to be monetized, for us for the Love America Tour to actually generate income off of that, we need 1,000 subscribers. Now, of those 1,000 subscribers, we currently have 1,210. So we're there. There's another thing though called public watch hours, and I want to let you know that last time I checked, which was last week, 3,460 public watch hours, and it's a time limit. It's got to be recently, out of 4,000 that are needed. So we are less than 600 hours away from being monetized on YouTube. Well, a lot of you go to YouTube to check out the Love America Tour playlist, the Love Stream playlist, and then some of the original interviews. But I wanted to let you know that there is so much more on that channel, and if you have a minute, maybe check out one of Corin's other videos so that we can get those public watch hours up and start generating some funds. That being said, the fundraising engine is under construction. I'm actually working on it. So as for right now, save up. If you feel like donating $3, $5, whatever, save it and get ready, because we are going to be setting that loose later. And I would recommend, even if you have $25 or $50 that you want to donate, save it. And then when we launch this thing, do it in $3 and $5 chunks, because it's going to be fun. It's going to do some cool things, and we're building it now. Okay. So, that being said, I've seen some stuff in the chat. I wanted to let you know, Bonnie Bell brings up a good point. Hit all the buttons. Don't forget to share the video, like the video, retweet the video if that's where you're at, comment on the video. Just smash all the buttons. We like it when you hit all the buttons, depending on what platform you're on. And I did see that somebody in the chat mentioned that our record so far for number of chat messages sent from all three platforms total is 991 for any one love stream. And we're kind of trying to get that to 1,000, so I appreciate you guys bringing that up in chat. We definitely want to do that. We can break that chat glass ceiling. When we do that is largely up to you guys. And if we can't, everybody go out and invite somebody for the next one, for next Wednesday, the 4th November. Speaking of that also, November the 11th is Veterans Day. There will not be a broadcast on November the 11th, which is Wednesday, because one, it's Veterans Day, and two, me and a bunch of my veteran buddies will be in the woods that entire the week of the 9th. We're going out, and we're going to stay there for a while and get our heads right. That will bring us into Thanksgiving. That will bring us into Christmas. That will bring us into New Year's. I am not 100% sure what the schedule will be for the holidays, but I will be getting with the other producers, and we will put that out in tweets or... we will put that out on all of the platforms. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on Twitter. Everywhere we'll put it. But... we want you to spend time with your families, your loved ones. It's that time of year, getting to me where we get together and everything. But we're going to probably do a couple of special things, holiday themed, holiday related. We're not sure what they are yet. We're not sure when they are yet. But keep in mind that the schedule is likely to be kind of on and off until the beginning of the year, starting with the 11th. The 4th, we're definitely having a show. The 11th, we're definitely not having a show. And then the 18th, we will probably be having a show. But we'll know by then, so hang in there. Katso Nemec says, "Hi, here is your Commander-in-Chief El Katso. The task for you is to all tell Silly Quirky that he missed 2 Katso tweets, so we're going to break the chat record." Husky approves. Husky approves of breaking the chat record. The amount of harassment you give or don't give Corin is completely between you and Corin. That being said, we have ambassadors. That's the other one. I wanted to let you know that the ambassador program got launched out of nowhere, and I know that, and there's a lot of you that are interested in becoming ambassadors, and right now we only have 2. We only have 2 because we're trying to get organized and everything, and this is a mission statement, a vision, and a bunch of other stuff that I wrote for a group called 12th Fleet Real Life Branch that I think we can easily manipulate into being Love America Tour Ambassador Program specific. And so that's going to be circulating around to the ambassadors and the other producers probably by the end of the week. And then we should be able to have it out inside of another couple of weeks after that. So everybody will be able to see what the ambassador program is all about, how to get into it, and how to do things. So absolutely, we had kind of a lot of news and announcements. If you missed it or weren't quite clear on something, you can always put a question in the comments, the chat, however, whatever platform you're watching on, leave a comment with your question and we'll answer it. Okay, moving right along into positivity. I wanted to continue to talk about another facet of communication this week, and I'm actually going to be reading from some of this so that you guys will actually get a sneak preview about it. Panda and I were actually talking the other night about how if there's one thing that recent generations have done that is positive, that I can point at and say it's a good job for doing that, it is that a light is being shined on mental health brighter than has been shown on it in anywhere in history, I believe. And we got to talking about the old adage, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And now we know that that is patently false. Words do hurt. They just don't hurt in such a manner that needs stitches immediately. And we know now that mental health and physical health are connected. If you come down with the flu, your mental health is going to take a hit too, and vice versa. Um, so it's one of those things that, first of all, let's be honest. You're not likely to get the same treatment from the majority of people that you run into when we start doing this. But it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with someone. Somebody has to start doing this to show the way. And otherwise, it's just never going to happen. And so at first, there's going to be a few people out there that are working hard to be nice to people without really getting anything in return. And that's going to be the hardest part, basically, is to get the ball rolling. So the mission statement, basically, is that I had before, and we're going to be moving, is to focus on who people are rather than on what they are. Success or failure, it's not a byproduct of skin color, religion, sexual orientation, gender, or anything. It's more a reflection of one's own personal choices and interests. An opinion different from your own is not an attack. It's these exact differences that, when civil discussion is permitted, make us stronger. Let's focus on our similarities rather than our differences. We're not saying that you have to get along with everybody, but there's no need for hate. If you can't get along for someone, that's where the term personality conflict comes in. You be you and let them be them. It's pretty simple, honestly. And then, most importantly, apply the golden rule to everything. Before you say or do anything, stop and think about how you would react if something similar was done or said to you. And this kind of brings the entire positivity thing full circle, because we were talking about we were talking about how positivity in your life reflects on you and can change things simply by changing other people's perception of you. And I believe it was Ricky Gervais was the comedian that said another way to say this that makes even more sense, I think, is deal with anyone. When you're dealing with someone else, act as though they are you living another life. Just assuming for a moment that reincarnation is true. If everybody was reincarnated, then it's actually easy to kind of wrap your head around everybody being the same person. But it's basically learning to listen to other people's points of view. As we mentioned, learning how to expand your circle of influence. Remember, we learn to listen to other people. We learn to accept their points of view, so that we learn how to look at things from their point of view as well. We share all these points of view, and it makes problems easier to solve. The ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes like that just like anything else, it will get stronger with practice. And as you make it a habit of thinking about, how would I react to this if I was told this, before you do or say anything, really makes a difference on how people perceive you. And it can also change your life in many ways. So there's a couple of other things in here that I'm not really going to go into because they aren't positivity minded. But I think we may be bringing the positivity sessions to a close, at least for now, and replacing them with another segment. I'm not sure, but like I said, there's going to be slow changes to the format as we're going forward and growing. Things are changing, we're morphing, and as Ben is going to bobbery fix. I'm not sure what that means, Bonnie. But yes, as we move forward, things are changing. I mean, we got the Discord channel now, the Lat Clubhouse. We've got two spin-off. Well, not we got a spin-off series from Love America Tour. Love America Tour itself is being edited into a thing that we will eventually be able to see on our TV. The Love America Tour love stream continues to go strong, and we've actually, if you look back, as we said, it's healthy to sometimes look back and see how far you've come. But if you look back and you remember when we were waiting for the next interview to drop, and we were just doing basic go lives here, there. Corin would do one, Chad would do one, I would do one, Ben would do one, and it wasn't even. It wasn't planned that way. We didn't have any organization. And you look back to those times, long about the time even that the Love America Tour was coming through Louisiana and Missouri and Arkansas. It was just bedlam. It was nuts. And now to look back on that moment and see what we have here, it's only fitting that the live stream show should morph and grow and evolve with the Love America Tour and what is quickly becoming an entity in its own right, the Lat Fam, the fan group, you guys. And that is tremendous. I would very much love to see everybody that's here or everybody that watches this introduce a friend of yours that could benefit from the positivity and maybe even help us out getting the chat over 1,000. But one thing to remember, I mean, let's remember the waterfall. It's been a while since we've really looked at that waterfall and remembered what it meant. One drop of water being one person, and we come together and we form these little rivulets that get together and form these little streams that get together and form that. Well, in order for that to happen, we, the droplets, have to get together and form the rivulets, and then have to get together and everything. So invite your friends. I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you share something? I've seen that a lot of people say that Love America Tour, possibly the best thing to happen in 2020. It's definitely been the best thing to happen to me in 2020, with the exception of Panda. And so that's where we're at. Let's share it. It is a good thing, and it's growing. So we continue to grow by sharing the good thing. So I have a little bit of a confession to make. My health is in a down slope. Don't worry. This is normal. This is something that I'm used to dealing with, but it is in a down slope, and we're going to turn it around to an upslope here, but it's just been a challenge to keep up with everything. And I did have some videos ready to go to introduce our guest for the interviews. However, I wasn't able to download them and chop them up because technical difficulties. So we're going to hear from Mose and Split Image while I get our guest on the horn, and then we will hear another track from Mose and Split Image when we get the roundtable in. In the meantime, go ahead and enjoy the Mose Jackson, who will be joining us tonight, along with Split Image, just kind of recording a jam session. We'll be right back. Hey, Ben, how are you?
Listening for you there, Bill. All right.
Awesome. That's terrific. Hey, the green screen is just a little bit off right there. Can you see it?
Great.
But
That looks good. I can't see it.
yeah, well, terrific. Hey, look, guys. Are we in the same place? Are we not
Yeah.
in the same place? You don't know. It's going to be a minute before they see this and we see it in the chat. But I think they're going to get a big kick out of this. You have a guitar on you.
I do so. It's also close
Awesome.
and handy. Oh, you're playing the Mo stuff, so I'm like, yeah. But I can see us over here in the thing. It's feeding to us.
Yep. It'll fade to it. Yep, here they come.
That's YouTube that I'm looking at over here.
Yeah, here come the comments. They're also in the screen below us a little bit. But so
Yeah.
got a quick, well, not a quick question for you. We want to get into Blackwater Blues and Love America Tour and Paranormal Chat and everything, but first, it helps to have an understanding of what goes into movie making in each of the different phases, I think. And so, would you be interested in telling us about, okay, I have an idea for a movie. How do I prep and develop that now?
Yeah. It's actually a very entailing piece. Like, it's not as easy as people think. A lot of it, we're going to get into this whole thing with writing. Excuse me, to lay down the guitar. We're going to get into this thing with writing in the month here with the whole Casey Hall and everything. But everything starts with an idea, and you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out that idea. And you want to understand what to do with it, so you get out a notepad, you fill it out, you talk to people, and then you choose your script. So you start to write out the script. You start to think about characters. You develop your characters. And a lot of times, maybe you talk to say foreign and go, yeah, I'll have an idea. A goes to B, goes to C with this character. Well, who does A talk to? Well, that character does A, B, C, D as well. And then the third character does, you start building all these interactions. So that's what's going on in your head. So that's just the script part. When you've done that script, the next thing you kind of want to do is copyright. A lot of people go, I don't need a copyright. Well, there's 3 or 4 ways you can do it. You can be WGA, which is Writers Guild of America. Doesn't really matter. You go to the copyright office. And that one costs $65 per script. Second thing you can do with that too is you go to the federal post office and for what, $5, send something registered mail to yourself. It's a federal company, right? Run by the U.S. government. So technically you've just copywritten it, or it can stand up in court. When we say copyright, we're talking about the ability of somebody to plagiarize or use more than 10% of what you have. It's a fine line. Rarely happens, but with that, you also have to deal with title search, clearance reports, and a lot of times those things don't occur in time. And even Corn, we were doing Blackwater Blues, and hey, Corn, did you get the clearance report done? I haven't run into that. He goes, he's done lots of movies. Trust me, he's done a lot of movies and he's written a lot of things. But from the producer side, when you get into the larger budget, whether that pay over $30,000, you talk about a micro budget, you got to have a clearance report. And what that does, it goes through and identifies any names or such that might be related in the real world you cannot use without copyright infringement. Because you don't want to get down the line and, hey, I got this great project, you go to distribute it, and they go, yeah, you got AC/DC in it. You said it. You can't, did you get clearance? No. So you want to burn pages. I think what we're talking about at this point is all about development. There's actually 5 phases of film. You have your development stage, the pre-production stage, the production stage, post-production stage, and then lastly you have your marketing and distribution where everybody gets to see it. It's you, the audience, that we're performing for. And
That's a lot of phases.
Yeah, and then there's a lot going on for a producer to be thinking about. But there's a lot of players that have to come in that are at the end mark that should be there in development as you think about it. So if you're going to have special effects, well, where am I shooting? And remember, we're coming back to the script. So you have that idea, it's a big space movie. You got to think about space movies. That's some effects, right? And if you look at it, it's gonna cost your budget a lot more. So it's always about keeping it as simple as possible, telling the story from A to C very simply. And then we start to fill in the dollars, and it's intense. We get to what's called a script breakdown, and the script breakdown, as a producer or a line producer, we'll go through and we start to itemize everything. We look at it all, and we see which items can be, can't be. Say we have this scene right now. So if I was writing this scene, it's two characters, there's yourself and I. We need to incorporate a streamline underneath, so that's noted. We need to have a split screen, two people with green screen, so we're counting that for two pieces of property. We need 4 lights, 2 for you, 2 for me. How much is that going to cost? All those things have a line item, so we're now building a budget. With that
good
budget,
heavens.
yeah, now that budget also coincides too, coming back to that script one more time. How many times do you and I appear on screen? How long are we on screen? Well, that goes into a scheduler. Scheduler tells us how many days. We then decide if it's union, non-union, what have you, how much we're paying. There's things called favored nations, which means I write it out and we say, okay, we're agreeing we're going to pay everybody $100 a day. Doesn't matter if you're above line, below line. Above line means director, producer, actors, executive producer, that whole unit. Below line is all the crew, everybody that makes it happen. Without them, it's just a couple fancy people waving in the air, and hopefully, well, nothing's going to happen. We're YouTubers at that point, I think is what you're at. But this is all in the pre-production stage. We're still trying to figure out how much this thing costs. So you get to talking to your investor, and you're like, well, hey, I got this idea, I got a script. What are we going to do? So the investor says, yeah, well, okay, do you have an option on it? An option? What's an option? Okay, well, I got an option my script. What that means is I'm going to write to you and say, you have the right to produce and represent my script in the format that we've just discussed. Now, an option can be free. We like to always charge $1 though, because you should always exchange something for something. It's just the way it is. And then you can have, say, $100 or $10,000. Now, the industry format is around $10,000 to $20,000 when you option that. So you're taking it over. You're going to buy it. You're going to buy the copyright to it, or you're going to buy it outright. And there's several steps to choose from. Say with Blackwater Blues, because Korn is the producer and he's part owner of Blackwater for Black Mud Production, we don't actually have to have an exchange of dollars other than the single dollar, because he's still maintaining the rights and the copyright to it. Now, if we move it outside, then that changes it too. But there's many different things. You have to have a distribution agreement. You have a co-production deal if you're going to work with somebody. You have your letter of intent. You have your financing deal. Deals and paperwork is about a mile long, and when you said walk a mile in somebody's shoes, it sucks. As a producer, you have to be the mean guy, the nice guy. Yeah, I don't know, but you always have to have that answer for the money, mostly for the crew. You have to respect your crew. You have to respect your talent. You have to give them the drive that they know that there's a goal at the end, and that you're there with them. Food. Number one thing on a set, feed your people. I don't care what you're doing. If you can afford to feed your people, you're an asshole. I'm sorry, everybody, I didn't mean to say that, but you are. You can't feed people. That sucks. Because people are already working for wages, working for 12 hours, 16 hours, sometimes on big shows. Coming back to Blackwater, we're probably going to do a 6 to 8, no more. It's favored nations. We're going to be at $100. So I can't ask somebody to work more than 8 hours. That's unrealistic. Why would you do that? But that's me. That's my attitude. There are guys out there that say, well, you all work completely for free, and I'm going to give you some points. And they hammer this thing out 12 days and what have you. But, are you feeding people? Are you being, everybody's got to survive. I've been in this business for 30 years. I've sat on crew. I've been transport. I've been a Teamster. I've been UBCP in Canada. I'm SAG now. The list goes on. I've worked in lighting, grips. I've worked in AD department. I've gone through wardrobe, props, special effects, and of course stunts. As you know, I doubled the rock in 2003. And that sort of led me into doing more stunts because Tanawai was busy during that one doing the mill shoot and said, hey, go over there to go check this thing out. I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, head over and it's the sheriff's shack. It was 141 squibs is what it was. And when I say squibs,
Jesus.
so I'm running through the damn sheriff's office trying to get through this stuff blowing over left and right. I mean, it's exhilarating. Don't get me wrong. It's crazy. Coming back to the producer side, back in prep. Remember I said that word prep? If that's in that script, you got to account for that as a dollar. And the squib is not something cheap because now you got to worry about safety. So you can see how things start to build. We haven't even got into ready to get into pre-production. We're in development, right? We have to know A, B, C, D. So now we get our money. We've got everything done. We get our clearance reports now. Get our title search done. We lock the money into the accounts. We start handing out deal memos. We get everybody ready. We get our film commission approvals. The list. And I just started prep, and I'm sure I missed a whole handful of things in development, and that's normally what I do. And also website development, pop up a website, get a domain name. All those things are important. Write emails.
Find some poor sucker to live stream.
Some poor sucker. Some guy named Husky usually is a good choice because you can go for Huskies are the best. They pull what 6 times their weight, 8 times their weight. I forget what it is, but
Huskies are used for racing. Malamutes actually are used for 20 pounds of pull per pound of body weight.
Yeah, see, ask a Husky, get a Husky answer. I love it. But overall, it's. Oh wait, I see somebody say something about SAG. What was that? I'm curious.
Actually, there's a whole bunch of questions that have come in, and we're running a little short on time. But here we go. Tina Bobina, I'm curious to know if the Directors, Producers, and Writers Guild are all separate from SAG.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're all independent unions. And generally speaking, too, if you're over $1 million, that's only when the unions start to get interested. SAG, the whole point of SAG or any of the talent unions is it goes back in the day. There's a lot of abuse, and as I sort of pointed out with that non-union, if you're not feeding your crew kind of thing and not looking after them, that's what the union's for. Union also hampers you too, because you have to spend a little more money because you got to cover the payroll. You got to do all these other things. So if you're in an inflated budget and your payroll is going to be $200,000, you better have that in the bank. SAG needs to know about it. They want to know you're covering all your COVID clearances. They want to know that you got the deal memo. They want to know that the agent's being paid. They want to know that everything's included, that your health, everything is there to protect that actor. So that's why it's so important. But each of those guilds are different. There's a certain number of hours you go through the whole AD thing, and you work all your way till you're into the Directors Guild. That takes care of that. Camera Guild, Local 600, what have you, where you're at. There's grips, electrics, Teamsters. The list goes on. They're all different guilds. They're all different guilds. The PGA, Producers Guild. And they're all here.
There are some other questions. I've got a couple from Sam, one from Rose, and one from Devin that I have written down.
Sure.
We have about 5 minutes to go before I bring the roundtable in. Where would you say Blackwater Blues or Paranormal Chad or Love America Tour is in that process that you were just talking about?
Sure. Well, first off, Love America Tour, that's in post. So quickly summarizing post, we get the product, we look at what we have for content, we catalog it so we know where everything is. Then we take that, we break it into what we're going to use and find the timeline that relates back to the storyline. And in this storyline, we're talking about similarities. Corn's journey, what awoke in him, and how he's relating to ABCD. Then we take that, we run a raw edit, we look at it, we rematch it, we have a voiceover, we color correct, we lock picture, and then we're ready to do the master. Now, Blackwater is in development, as in prep, sorry, because we already have our agreements in place, our investors there, and we're ready to roll. So all those things I talked about in prep, Warren's like blowing his head off because he's in Mississippi trying to organize this. I'm here. We've got a whole team there. We've got Brad, we've got Wes, we've got Trent, the director there. We have the Fuad, we've got Jason, we've got Josh. I'm sure I'm missing a couple of people. Kat's going to come down and help us with some coordinating. Corn himself, Jason London, of course, the Kingpin. Ming's even helping us out with condos and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that go into that. And then of course the last one is Paranormal Chad. That's in development, right? We have to decide, coming back to writing again, scripted, semi-scripted, unscripted. Got to say those three things. Semi-scripted means we have an idea, the actors or whatever we team around it, producers help, like Naked and Afraid might be somewhat semi-scripted, or not that. Sorry.
Semi-scripted. What we're doing. We kind of talked about it a little bit.
We had a topic that we were going to talk about. That's semi-scripted. We're allowed to move in between. There's other ways to describe it, and I did it really poorly, I'll be honest. Scripted, obviously, you follow the script. Ad-lib, well, there is no script, and which is the unscripted. So those three things. But that's where Paranormal Chad is we have an idea what we want to do. We know what Chad wants to do. We got to figure out how to integrate that. Who's going to be his co-host? How are we going to do a co-host? And what's the theme? How are we going to build that? Is it A plus B equals C? Is it maybe there's an investigative thing they both want to find? Say there's two people, and they have to get there. And that's the film. They're interested to start A, B, right? They come together and their journey getting there is part of the show. Part C is they get to the show. They meet a specialist or somebody there. We do their backstory. We do, you know what I mean? There's all those things that come together. So we're still thinking about how to do that. When we figure that out, then we'll move to prep, and then we'll go to shoot. And also that goes for Love America Round 2.
Love America 2 Round 2 in planning, you said, or development?
It's in development. We know what we want, right? Planning is development, right? It's just not in prep.
Prep, that's what okay, yeah. Okay, so lap part 2 is in development. Lap part 1 is in post-production, which is the last stage, right? Before it's released and you can watch it on your TV.
And well, we're gonna, so there's a couple of things there. So we have Land of Similarities, which is the biodoc. There's also the recut of all the visits, everything, cleaning it up a little bit more, making it tighter. Even what you're doing right now, the live stream. I'm gonna recut all that, and I'm gonna relaunch it, and I'm gonna go back and clean it up. Clean up dead spaces, make things a little quicker. But there'll still be always the raw. So we want people to know where it really came from. I'm not trying to ever destroy that. And again, that always comes back to that script. How did you originally want your idea to be? It's always following that circle, but you've got to keep checking back. That's your checkerboard. So the other thing I want to mention too, when you're setting these things that you're going to television budget is much different than a movie budget. Television budget, if you're doing a series like Blackwater, I have to treat it as a movie budget, but then I have to do a pattern board budget, and then I have to do an amortized budget. And I take all those together, I calculate it, divided by how many episodes, and that's how much it costs per episode. And it's a massive undertaking, beyond all. But I've been asked to do it. Yay me.
Well, you're good at it.
I try, I've had a lot of years. I've been burned a few times. Like Warren and I, we worked together, I think since 2004 or 2006, something like that. I met him on CDs, whenever the hell that was, Troglodytes. So I tell you, we felt like a bunch of troglodytes, but we had a good time. And it's him and I worked a lot. I worked in other companies along the way, and I've been a development producer. That's my specialty. And I happen to be able to do pretty much everything, whether it's web building, whether it's Photoshop, I play my own music. I'm a jack of all trades, and I've been a master of people.
Well, you do it well. You do it well. I got the questions from the chat real quick. Let's get into some more of Mo's, and I'm going to bring on the rest of the roundtable. And we have to fix our filters.
Yes, sir. Got it.
All right. We'll talk to you. We'll see you shortly.
In a bit. Love you all.
I'm gambling.
This is the first
All
time
right.
I've seen brothers on the
And
screen.
well, it's all right. We're live again because we ran out of video. All right, real quick, we apologize. Corn, Nemec, and Paranormal Chad are unable to join us because of Hurricane Zeta. It was right up to the last second. We were going to try and get them in. We sent the invite. They declined. That's code for, hey, we're going to duck and cover right now, okay?
All right, everybody, let's do a prayer out to them. Make sure they're good. Good thoughts, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Live fam, you know what to do. You know what
Hey, I
to
want
do.
to take a special note there. I noticed in the little jam session I was playing. How old is that drummer?
Oh, that particular drummer right there is 10 years old. So he's just learning the ropes, and we let him get on there as much as possible. And he just goes in on the drum on a 12-piece. So yeah.
So he's getting his drummer hours.
Yeah,
he's getting his drummer hours in, huh?
Yeah, he's getting his chops up, getting the chops going.
You hear that, Lab Fam? That means you can do anything, anytime. Doesn't matter what age, 10 years old or almost 50. You know, you do it because you want
Absolutely.
Right.
Word up.
Okay, so just real quick, checking the I'm not sure what we're hearing there, but it sounds almost like Bobby.
Oh, blame me. That's great. Hold on.
Was because you got that Captain America shirt on. Don't lie.
I'm trying to save the world, especially over here. You know, we just had that big thing with the cops shooting that kid.
What?
And so we had two cops shoot a young male. He had some mental issues going on. He pulled a butter knife out on him. The cop shot him on live video. Yeah. So over here we got some looting, some rioting, and everything going on. I mean, and literally these cops could have just tasered him, but they literally just shot him in front of his mother. His mother was trying to get him to stop and slow down, but these cops shot him right, and they pretty much emptied the clip.
We had the same thing here at a Costco. Moss, you remember that guy that was out in the valley, and he was handicapped or something. He came at this undercover guy. The guy he freaked out, and I think he wanted to grab something in the cart or whatever it was. Freaked out and shot the guy, and he was handicapped. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that was.
I don't understand what.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Let's hope and pray for people that they find light and they see a little better way and stop grabbing for the gun and use their voices. Start listening.
I like to hope so.
Absolutely.
As you started off this whole session, walk a mile in a man's shoes. You can ask, our police officers, our law enforcement, and people that are in that position to handle weapons. Even if you're a civilian, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. Oh, that's the last thing you need. If you can't talk, you certainly don't need a gun.
Listen,
right
over here they didn't try at all to even talk to him, and when they shot him, I mean, literally when they shot him, he was enough feet away from him, and I mean enough feet away that they could have pulled out the taser. And the first thing they pulled out was a gun. They kept saying, "Oh, we don't have tasers," but when you look at the clip, you see the taser hanging out the front of his belt. So it wasn't even about race. No. It was just like you didn't even try to do the right thing or shoot him in the leg. No, they let off, and all you heard was just the gunshots kept going on and on.
Center of mass is what they look for. But I mean, I'm a trained bodyguard, right? I mean, I worked with Jackson and worked with Tom Welling on all that. You carry a weapon, weapon.
Right.
Somebody coming at me.
The background noise. Sorry, the background noise I think is coming from Mose.
Yeah, it may very well be. I have a few people here right now, so yeah, just a little bit of background noise.
I got you.
I apologize.
If we see a bunch of smoke roll in, we know what's going on.
There's no doubt over here.
Real quick, guys, before we run out of time, because we have got 13 minutes till the top of the hour, I've got some questions for each one of you, and then some questions from the chat that I have been writing down. Chat, hold off on the questions just a little bit, and then we'll open them back up when we can see them. First off, and I'll go ahead and start with Bobby, and then we'll go with Mose, and then we'll go with Ben. That's very loud.
Or actually,
no, it's Mose.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's coming from my mic actually. Trying to adjust the volume here so it doesn't pick up so much.
I don't have that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So.
We can have it. My favorite cousin too.
Wow. Okay. It's still pretty loud, but that's okay. This is what we're gonna go with. So Bobby,
Yeah.
we're just gonna move. We're just gonna move on through it because there's not much we can do about it. Have you ever tried something in filmmaking that wasn't your main thing? Like you're mainly an actor, right? Correct.
Myself, Bobby.
So have you?
Yeah.
No, Bobby Ben. Which is weird because you're Ben. Bobby. Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah, watch how you say Bobby then say Ben. It's like it comes together.
Oh, trust me, I have all kinds of trouble with it. But yeah, so you're mainly an actor, right, Bobby? That's your main.
I mean, I do a whole lot of
Sorry,
everything else,
Bobby,
but acting is just it goes with the rest of the flow.
Okay. Have you ever tried something in filmmaking that wasn't that, like script writing or I don't know, being a gaff or a producer or an animator or something like that?
So I mean, if you look at my and I'm not going to say I have been a producer. I wrote script for the Skittles War. I became a grip. I did that. So I kept trying everything to get the feel of everything. Now, what I did find I struggled a little bit with was directing, because it's so fast paced that you have to pay attention. You have to look for subtlety. You have to see something that somebody else don't see and say, we can't do that. When I was doing producing, I was actually in the directing range at the same time. I was doing a show I have called Delayed Gratification. So we did a scene where the guy was an orderly and he had to bring someone in. And I said, you're going to have to cut. And he said, why? I said, because he's wearing jewelry. He has his watch on. He has his necklace on. So all that got to come off if you're working in the healthcare field, because they could use that against you. So the guy cut it. He said, what all needs to come off? I said, this comes off, this comes off. By the time we got done, we had 7 things off him, including his phone clip. I said, who walks inside a facility with your phone on and you're working with these patients? I said, you can't. So the guy said, you know what? Now you became my technical advisor. So it's like I learned to do everything. And it's like, because I see it. And I kept saying, I'm not trying to take over your stuff, but if you want realty, because trust me, someone's going to pick this out when they watch this movie or this TV show. Like, why was that can in the background? This is 1950, but that Sprite can definitely looks like yesterday's.
Oh, I missed that. Like you wouldn't believe, but Panda catches everything. Everything. Hey, that hat wasn't on there in the last scene. Where's that? Exactly. What do they call it? It starts with a C. It's continuity. Where's the continuity person or something?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I pick up everything as I go along. So every time I'm doing a movie, they say, all right, well, Rob, you're done for the day. I'm like, don't you want me to sit around so I can watch? And I always learn from whatever there is. I'm like, okay, now I know how to do that. Now I know how to do that. And I always tell people, I'm cool. Just don't worry about me. I love it.
Now, Mose, your main thing, obviously, I believe, is musician, correct? It's music.
Yep, absolutely.
Have you ever done anything that outside of that? Have you ever produced or directed or written or anything like that? Or has it always been music?
It's mostly been music. I've done some writing in the past, but I mean, nothing that's really come to any fruition. I've done some hosting. I've also, I started off as a DJ, so that's another one of the things that I do.
What is hosting?
That's music. MCing, hosting shows and things of that.
Oh, hosting. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, hosting. Right. I've done stuff like that.
I thought you said Holstein, like the cow, and I'm like an idiot because I don't know the music industry and it means something.
I was a farmer. Good.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know about that one yet. I think I'd get out on the farm and I wouldn't know anything. I would what to do. So, but yeah.
Hey.
You've done relating to film though. You've also done composing, right? That's.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we did the TCO thing back a few years ago, so I was involved in that too. And then a lot of people don't know is that I also build studios, and I install audio equipment for home theater and that whole 9 yard. I've built about 5 studios so far, so that's also ongoing. I love doing that. It's something I also love to do. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I have your phone number, so I got a note now. You're on there.
Absolutely. Get your wired up and ready to go.
We're gonna have to corroborate on some sound at some point, or collaborate on some sound at some point. Now, Ben, you kind of a man of many talents, so to speak. What is your main? It's producer, isn't it? Is your main line of work?
Yeah, I'm a development producer. That'd be what my main thing is. But that's my producer side. My other main line is I'm a safety talent coordinator for small independents. And the problem is that, you know, it's $1,005 or $1,015 now a day for a stunt coordinator. And
Wow.
I'm sorry, when you have cast on set, and sometimes some directors are, well, no, it's okay, you can do that. Well, I'm that guy that goes, no, you can't do that. The reason
Right.
it's not going to work. Why would you put somebody in danger? We can do this stuff. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm the guy that talks to somebody like Bobby and says, hey, you got that idea? What were you talking about, that continuity? He goes, yeah. And I'll go, okay, sit, because the guy's got, you say he's wearing something that he shouldn't, and that's not supposed to be in the scene. Well, he's supposed to fall down or take a hit or something gets hit by it. We don't want to ever see that. So instead of having him do a full stunt or something crazy, just modify the shot so it still looks great, but it takes into mind what Bobby's talking about. The director still gets what he wants. The real truth is you, the audience, gets what you want. That's
Right.
what. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's easy to edit.
Now, there's a couple of questions that are quick that have come from the audience, and one that I think is going to enter us into an interesting conversation. So I'm going to send that one for last. Devin wanted to know, if you wanted to make a movie about Mars, does somebody own the copyright to that?
No, Mars is a planet. Go out and shoot in the Arizona desert.
Exactly. Right.
But what about movies about Mars? There's a bunch of movies about Mars.
The storyline matters. Remember I told you about that clearance report? You got to get clearances. You're a cop. I think it is a. Bobby, do you remember what is it? If you're using over 60% of the similarities in the movie, it's called plagiarism.
Yes, it's called plagiarism. Right. You can't use 60%. You can get close, but you can't use 60. And just like Ben said, you want to make a movie that look like Mars. Oh, you have a great look in Arizona, because there ain't nothing out there but desert. And from what we heard and from what we know, that's what Mars kind of looked like. And then you dim the color technicians, dim it, make it look all red. Yeah, there you go. You got Mars. Yeah. But whatever you do, just don't have no NASA rover going over, because now you're messed up.
Yeah, but you could say something that says ASA.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Say BB Ben rover.
That's right. You don't. Right. You don't technically have to have even a name on it. You could just have a rover going.
Yeah, but it can't look. You have to watch out for. Then you have to worry about structural design.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
And also, as most will say, sound design. So if you're making that movie, you have to be careful. You can't plagiarize sound either.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got one that Moses it's gonna hit Moses' bailiwick here coming up. Sam, asked a question real quick. Did you think the industry took a huge hit in 2020? And I'd have to just really quickly say yes. The industry did take a huge hit in 2020. All industries took a huge hit in 2020. But she wants to know, like, what's the most? Has there ever been a stunt so dangerous that you guys say no? It can't be done safely, or?
Well, no, everything can be done safely. It's just whether you do it in real time. I mean, if you look the Fast series, that's all real stunts. It's just how we did it. So I had a conversation with Scotty, and that's all that people get to know him as Scotty. He did Fast 2, 3, and 7. And we were talking about the scene in Shazam. Remember when the car, he hits the ice and the car goes tabletop 360? Well, the stunt wasn't necessarily done on ice and straight. It was probably done with an overhead with a tabletop moving.
Nice.
You never want to hurt anybody, crew, equipment, people inside that vehicle. And the vehicle, because that's going to be a lost or damaged plane. We need that vehicle.
Yeah, that's like a Supernatural, when everyone thought it was just one car. It was like 20 cars.
Yeah, Walking Tall. When you're that big red truck in Walking Tall, we had one specifically that was already torn apart. We had one for drive, one for spare, and one was just there as a second look.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I remember that. They took
real quick.
That was crazy.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get through the questions before we run out of time. KZ Howell asked, and I don't know if this is something that you can elaborate on just yet or not in the process, but this is for Ben. How will that one be distributed? Where should we be looking to see it?
Okay, so we do have a distributor. That's one thing I have not disclosed to everybody. We do have a distributor, and what they're going to do with it is once I give them cut, they'll make a couple notes on it. With the cut, I'll have color lock, of course. Everything will be set, but we're dealing with the streaming platforms is where we're going to go with that.
Okay.
Amazon, Netflix, whatever, where they take care of that's their thing on distribution. We just make the distribution deals. They usually keep 26%, and the rest comes back to us here at LAT, and that's going to go towards the second tour. That goes towards the equipment, all the web design, all the ambassadors, the code of ethics, developing all that, all the branding. So it's all coming back in, and then of course put a lot of money into this. Husky, you know how much you put in. I put in a lot of money. Orange put in a lot of money, and that's not just for donations. That's to make the damn thing run.
Yep. Okay, so here's the interesting question. It was asked by Rose from the UK. And I think this may actually take all of you because I don't know either. How do you choose what tracks to use or play in a movie? And how do you develop those?
Awesome.
For the most part, I want to try to look at if I'm doing some composing for a movie, I want to try to look at the scene or take a look at the script and kind of get a idea of what's the premise, and I can pretty much kind of delude which would go best with it. It's all about the feeling that I get from him. I guess mostly I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess, but on a better note is that, yeah, I kind of review the scene a couple of times, but it's not like that. The first thing that I come across that I think that'll go together, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes I have to go through a few tracks before I finally find one that really fits the scene or the video. Yeah, absolutely.
And to add to that, when we're writing in the script, sometimes you'll see and music playing in the background. So the director already knows, and the writer has already given the message. It's all how we translate, again, back to that initial script. What is it? AC/DC plays in the background, Van Halen plays, what have you. If it's opera or Mozart, what have you, classical music, that whole thing changes the whole tone for the composer to look at. So you have a composer, but you also have musicians that are assembled for different things inside that composition, that post-production.
Right.
That awesome. That comes over to Most. Most then takes that information, recalibrates it, levels the sound out, and he does a kind of sound check. Composition and actually the instrument.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Chat, I just took a look. It appears that this is October the 28th. I was going to take a look. Now, we hit 836 chats last stream, and I won't be able to know how many chats we hit this stream until tomorrow. But I was looking.
That's okay. Tomorrow's here today, tomorrow. We're good with that.
Exactly.
Life is about change. How you deal with change.
Tons of change.
I thought life was a highway.
It is. Tom Cochran. And then those...
I guess it depends on...
Those useless Lighthouse or whoever that was, they tried to do their comeback tour and steal Tom Cochran's Life is a Highway. Get out of here, little That's who it was. I tweeted that. I was so mad. I said, this is ridiculous. You're doing a comeback or last tour and you're using Tom Cochran. And I looked over and I saw Tom Cochran went, yeah, no, I don't like that either.
Wow.
But they had agreement. They were allowed to use the music, but it just sucks that they're taking a classic, the Canadian classic, and they're trying to poach it and make a hit out of it. Great for Tom, but it's not him. He's him, and they're, yeah. At most, I think you may want to, that's your comment more than mine.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of it's an ongoing process. It's a process of elimination mostly. Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby, you sat in on music before, haven't you, buddy?
Say that again.
Well, I mean, I used to sing with Jill Scott.
Word.
And
that's what's up.
And so before I started being an actor, I was a singer. So as many times as I would do stuff, and I was like, oh, this is great. And someone said, can we try a song? This because your voice is you have a deeper resonant voice. And I'm like, all right, well, I could do baritone, I could do falsetto, I could do first tenor. So the guys would look at me and say, all right, well, what can't you do? I said, well, that's the thing. I can't do rock. But I'm sure if I tried hard enough, I could. But I will say this, when I did a movie, we did a whole movie, everything was filmed, it went great. After the movie was done, they listened to the sound of it and they said, did y'all get permission to do all the soundtrack inside this movie? Because they had used everybody else's song and this guy never got permission. The movie was great. They said you had to redo the whole thing over again, get rid of all the song, and this guy had no clue how to do it. So he scrapped the movie. And he said to me, he said, man, y'all did a great job. I said, if only you learned how to do this movie and learned the business before you start becoming a director. And he looked at me and says, what? I said, you just threw away a perfectly good movie. And even if you wanted to redo it over, you couldn't because half the people aren't even around. And it was so bad because I said, you can get sued for copyright infringement.
Right.
I said, you didn't even put on there that I didn't own the music. You just assumed that you got permission. So it was kind of rough, and I felt bad because it was a great movie.
A lot of people too, Bobby, will try to you can play the music sometimes. You can use your own version of it, but it's still, most will attest to this. The lyrics are still good, the writing of those notes are still the writing of those notes.
Exactly.
Copywritten.
Right. Yeah, I was never a fan of it. And I remember Jill Scott used to always say to me, she says, if you're going to be a singer, she says, you better do something good because there's so many people out here trying to be a singer. There's competition everywhere. And she says, why don't you be an actor too? And the moment she said that to me, she said, I already got a movie that I'm about to be in. She said, because I know my singing is one thing, but I want to be having something else to fall back on in case it doesn't work.
Right.
And it worked out well for her. When I saw her on Why Did You Get Married, she called me and she says, this is what I'm talking about. And it was so amazing. So it made me say, let me kick up my acting a bit 10 times more. So, and I love that.
We're gonna have fun.
I can't wait.
As you can see, I have lit the obligatory cigarette. That means we have passed the 8 o'clock hour. So if you have other things that you need to attend to and can't stay with us, we've done our hour. That being said, I have a question for a couple people about movie making. Is if you all are staying? I just don't know who all's staying.
Yep, I'm sticking around.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yep, I'm still here.
My wife just came home. I think she got me something to drink. I don't know. Yeah, she did.
Did you just peek around the planet
Exactly.
to see if your wife was making you a drink?
Yes, he did. He just peeked around the planet. I saw
Oh my
it.
God, she bought you something from Mars.
Yeah, Bobo. This episode brought by it's Bobo time.
I thought, is that from Boba Fett's house?
Bobo.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. You know that tweet that I put out with your clip from Bojangles, that commercial you did for Bojangles with you flying the police car? By the way, if you're going to get that much flight time, you need a pilot's license. Driver's license doesn't cut that. But
Really, it's just about camera adjustments. But I did drive that car. I was feeling out and I'm doing the jump, yes.
it's only 30 seconds long, and I put it in the tweet because it was fun, and I enjoyed it. I almost used it as one of the intros, but it was too short. I didn't think I could get everything done. I was going to do it, but I figure it's probably a good idea to mention that Bojangles is not actually sponsoring this episode.
Would that be Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda!
I knew you was near the Mandalorian.
Wait, that thing is talking and blinking and stuff.
Buddy, how you doing?
Good Baby Yoda. Blinking.
You know, the Baby Yoda's got more life than Yoda had.
Oh, dear Lord.
Look,
Right.
and oh my God, look at that. Eyes closed. That's
Yeah, it
actually
blinks.
kinda
Isn't that something?
I
Pretty
love
dope.
it. And it goes to sleep.
Okay, that's too much. That's way too much. That's some stuff that's gonna scare you in the middle of the night. Wakes up 2 in the
So-
morning.
For those of you that were wondering, Captain Benjamin Sisko went into the wormhole, dealt with the aliens that lived in there, and they put him back into time as a producer in the early 21st century who plays with Yoda dolls
Yes, yes. Really
and
not.
makes great movies.
Shuck
Word.
Nutty. Yes.
Shock Na Cree. Yep.
That's one of
So-
the Fox from Stargate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, do you have any? We've got some time, and I can go in two directions with this, Ben. Are you wanting to go ahead and let loose the theme behind your background, or do we want to save that for December?
We just save that for December. It's all coming.
Okay. All right, but we definitely have some new stuff coming. I need to get with each of you at some point to talk about the fundraiser engine. Mostly you, Ben, but I've got some other stuff that I want to put together, and we're gonna have some slick Willy stuff on the internet side of things here in about 2 weeks.
Sure. It's going to be fun. This whole new season, coming into the Christmas period, we want people to spend time with their family. We'll try to fit in a couple of things. We may do some reruns, like some stuff we'll recut together. I would like to have this live stream recut for you folks for December, so you guys can go back.
That's actually kind of cool.
And just make a little, take out those the moments that the Husky has, and just make those into separate things. So you can just skip through those and just do the other pieces, but you'll make it a little easier to navigate around. So we're not, you have to go through a whole hour, but maybe there was a certain point in one of the episodes you're like, I remember that, and I wanted to reflect on that. That's kind of what we want to do. Also, as we go into the December period, I have to go in and I have to what they call search engine optimize and keyword and put all that stuff in. So when those videos come out, it's easier for you to search. Also, you look at the summary of it and they give you, you know what it's about. You can read it or have it read to you. Closed caption, for Rose especially, it can be read to her. She has a system set up, things like that. We gotta look out for everybody. And part of that would be December. And then in the new year,
Translation as well.
Yeah, everything has to be there. So there's a lot of post-production work that has to be done. That we're all going to be pulling together. Sounds, I'm going to go to Mo's for some sound stuff.
Absolutely.
Go to Bobby Bad for some voiceover stuff.
Oh yeah. Listen,
Wanted to let you
we want to hear him in the shower.
Listen, when I met Wayne Brady, I had to do. Told him I loved his first commercial I've ever seen. It was the international coffee commercial, and I'm talking to him. He says, "I can't remember." And I said, "You remember which one it was?" It was in the morning I wake up, I reach for my smiley face cup and take a little drink from you. And he looked at he blushed. You can see this black man blushing, and he's like, "Damn it, I forgot all about that." I said, that's when I knew I liked Wayne Brady. And it's like, from that moment on, I started working 10 times harder with my song into my acting because it was like so cool.
That's true. That's good. I can relate to that. I did that with stunts. I was talking to, again, Scotty about doing stunts. And when was the first time you got into it? And I thought about it. When I was about, let's say that about 9 or 10 years old. I'd already done all the driving with my dad, and sit on his lap and drive the stick and do that. And then when you're too big to sit on the lap, you're in the passenger seat and you're still shifting gears. But we were driving down this road. He has this cube van, and it was winter, and there was about 4 inches of slush on the road. I don't know what it was, something caught. But the truck was going straight. All of a sudden, we were just going backwards, looking at a semi behind us, and we kept going, looking at the ditch, and then we were going straight again, and my dad punches it, and we're going, wow. I'm like, hey, Dad, what the hell? And I talked to my dad the other day about it. He goes, I said, Dad, that was luck, right? He goes, no, that was driving. I said, I knew it. And that's so
there you go.
It's kind of a lost art. It used to be taught when you learned how to drive. When I learned how to drive, I had to learn how to drive with a trailer and back up with a trailer and drive a standard and an automatic. And I was like, Dad, this stuff isn't on the test. He says, it's on my test. If you can pass my test,
you can drive.
The state test isn't going to be a problem.
You want an automatic in the old days, you just ran your revs up. Maybe you double clutched it. But if you run your revs up to 4,500, she'll drop back. That's okay.
Oh, yeah. I used to shift gears all the time with no clutch plate. No clutch.
Yeah, that was an automatic.
My first car, my true first car, was a Pontiac Parisienne. Everyone would say to me, "It's like, damn, you had a boat coming around the corner." So when we would drive backwards, you put your hand on the back seat, turn your head, and you back up. I did that one day. My son looked at me like, "What are you doing? You're gonna have an accident." I said, "You kids look at these mirrors to drive. We old school. We just look backwards." and we can drive up the whole street without using stupid mirrors. My son said, "Dad," he said, that must be an art form. No, stupid. That's how we had to learn to drive back then.
Funny story though, Bobby Ben. In stunts, we don't look back. Never.
Well, yes, I can understand it. Right. You don't look.
We only use those mirrors, and we do not use that reverse mirror or any reverse camera. It's all about perspective. You're just moving and you're feeling, and you scrub and then you cut. There you go.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Wanted
gonna
to
have to do that.
wanted to let you guys know too. The Lat fam is growing, as you guys have noticed, I'm sure. And we are experiencing a surplus of volunteers. We have more volunteers than we have things for them to do. And I've got a set of volunteers that I've been working with much more gooder studios doing the live stream. Michelle Arwood comes to mind. She's been scheduling all the guests, and then we've got the ambassadors that are working to do what the ambassadors are doing, and that's going to be coming out. But if you guys have any kind of volunteer type work, what I'm trying to do is get people volunteer positions that are within their area of interest. So if you're willing to possibly get some volunteer work done in exchange for some lessons, please let me know what kind of work you have, and I will attempt to get some of the fans that are interested, for instance, in music. I have no idea what that would be, or the getting the thing together, Bobby, that you were talking about doing. On Zoom. And then Ben, I guess one of the things I'm learning about producers is that they really are jacks of all trades. Being the colonel, you kind of have to know everybody's job at least a little bit.
And that's in every field too, because over in Moses' world, he's a producer. Trust me, it's all the same process. He has an idea. I think a couple episodes ago you said you have something beside your bed. You wake up, you write it down.
Yeah, I do that.
Notebook
and everything. Keep looking.
So those are the things. It's all the same. But if somebody has a skill out there and they want to work on it, I'm pretty sure between all of us, whether that's Corn, that's Moss, Bobby Ben, yourself, even Husky, anybody, even for Paranormal Chad, maybe.
We're working with a couple of people on video editing to get the intros ready. And if it turns out that they like it and they're good at it, I'm gonna send them to you, man, because I'm not gonna be able to teach them anything.
But also most can use them, and also can Bobby Ben. He's got all kinds of people. So don't feel that this is just about Lat. This can be about anything.
Sure.
If you know about editing, if you know about Adobe Photoshop, if you know about web building, all the crucial support things that get the message to the audience, those are the areas where we really need help at the end of the day. That's you know how to write. You want to write something. So we have a writer for Love America Tour, and what is happening is review of the video, summarizing. And remember, I talked about having that information in the YouTube video when we do these reflex. Well, that's the writing we need. So if somebody out there wants to say review the videos, and then I'm able to take that and put it in, so everybody else can look at it and get a summary of it. You can't watch it, but you can read about it.
This is a perfect example right here. Mose, did you see last week's stream by chance? The birthday video? I saw. Did you see the birthday video they made for Chad?
Yeah, that was really dope.
Just so y'all know, Chad's hiding from a hurricane right now, but he did. Y'all couldn't see it because the video was on top of the Zoom video, but he did. You guys got him. You got him good. It touched him, and but Elise, it was just in the chat, and she's the one that sang "Happy Birthday" on that video. She's like, I volunteer. What can I do? She's just into it. She wants to go do stuff. So, yeah, if you guys, first off, if you in the chat want to know what you want to volunteer, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, say something in Discord, and let me know what it is, what skills you want to learn, what skills you want to exercise, and we'll find out if there's an opening, and if there isn't right now, we'll keep our eyes open for an opportunity for you and let you know as they come up. Is that fair enough?
And don't forget too, the ambassadors are looking for the jungle marketing, right? Guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing, yes. The street team.
The street team. So, B Bonnie and And a wonderful M there. They're needing that help. They want people out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have got so much stuff going and coming. It's amazing. And like I said in the positivity stream, let's look back just for a moment to the March, April time frame of this year. I think it was when Corn, or maybe it was May, but Corn was in like Arkansas and and Louisiana. And just the amount of craziness that was going on compared to what we have now. Regularly scheduled live streams, regularly scheduled Zoom parties, regularly scheduled, Discord events, and soon to be coming Twitch events and spin-off series. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I see a few questions are kicking in now. I see Sam's asking about theater experience or film experience. Bobby Bennett.
Yeah.
He's done everything.
Yeah, there's nothing I haven't done. And like I said, I'm always learning. I'm always quick to want to learn some more. So I'll tell anyone, the moment I finally retire from doing 9 to 5, I'm going just straight into some type of a movie acting role, whatever I can do more. So I tell people I love being in front of the camera, but I love also being behind the camera. I love that because that's so much more.
I was looking at Casey Howell there. What's that say there? He built a 72 Vega with an LT. Wow, that thing would have hustled.
Vroom, vroom. When I was in high school, the cops would let us race on Summer Avenue in Memphis after 10 on Saturday. We built a 72 Vega with an LT1 Corvette motor. Good times, KZ Howell.
Just
wow.
Like
that needs to go into a Chicken Soup for the Soul quote book or something.
That's a monster right there.
That's nice, right?
Beast on the road.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, that's American muscle. Boom.
That's a lot of muscle.
Yeah. What else? Anything else in the horse questions there? What do we got rolling there? Help.
I think they've kind of moved on to volunteering and different things, and I think what we're eventually going to do is have the ambassadors be kind of the fan club managers and volunteer coordinators, and there's going to be volunteers get some special stuff, ambassadors get some special stuff, the street team gets some special stuff. For instance, there's a street team channel on the Discord server that only the street team producers and ambassadors can get into.
Nice.
And so there's that coming, and eventually what's going to happen is the ambassadors, once we get this written up, if you want to volunteer to be an ambassador, that's awesome. If you want to volunteer to do something else, ambassadors are who you go to. Not sure where in the lap fam you fit, ambassadors are who you go to. Are you sensing the pattern yet?
That's a hell of a pattern, but yeah, I think we got it.
Pattern. Yep.
Well, right now we only have 2, but there's more coming.
Katso, though. We got to make Katso an ambassador sometime.
Well, like I said, that's going to be
Cats.
That's going to be up to Sam and Bonnie. They are looking currently at expanding the ambassador ranks, so to speak. They have some people in mind. They've got some folks, but what they wanted first was this. That's what they asked for. I'm almost done with it, so we are going to open it up. They are going to open it up. It's not just them two forever and ever. They were the first. They're helping to build it, and once it's built, there will be more slots.
Just a note on that. So where that stems from is one thing I wanted for y'all is to have a code of ethics. A code of ethics is something to hold us to a standard of what we are as a family. It means we don't abuse each other. It means we don't abuse other people. And this is what Husky's doing out there. I asked him to do that because without that, we cannot become self-funding. We want to, and everybody has to have that same vision, have walked the same mile in each other's shoes, or at least considered it before you do anything. And that's where the code of ethics comes in.
And because we are a family, and I often say we all bring all resources together because that's how we grow.
Yeah.
In every way possible.
No.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to say, I'm not going to say out here, I'm not going to say, first off, this is not the case, all right? This is not going to happen. We are not saying that if you volunteer, you will be given a paid position that got IMDb credit and you're going to be a movie star next year. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, if you have an area in which you'd like to volunteer, let us know. We've got some pros that can throw some work your way and maybe teach you some things along the way, and maybe as you develop, get you some contacts, and maybe it could happen. For instance, right now at Much More Gooder Studios, we've got Devin Dorenzo, Michelle Arwood, and possibly later on Maddie Ringwald editing videos for us. That could turn into a permanent paid position. It may not. It kind of depends. First off, do you like it? You know? And if you're good at it and such, Ben, would you say the possibility is there that somebody comes up, has a natural gift for editing, and may find their way into a new field of work?
Yep, for sure. Guaranteed.
Definitely possible, guys.
And editors, by the way, are a very rare bunch of people. Not many people can sit, watch a screen for hours at end and still be creative.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of hours there.
I know some people that are very good at it. I'm not. And like I said, we had this conversation before, Ben, and I've had it with Michelle. I gave it a shot. I am capable of editing video. I hate it. I don't like it.
I like Michelle's cut. I like what she did.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should be seeing next week. I think we're interviewing Jill Trapp, I think, from Arkansas. I think is her last name. I know it's Jill from Arkansas. And Devin Dorenzo is going to be cutting her teeth on that video, so you'll be able to see it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she'll be doing the intros. So, and you know, Bonnie there is saying a perfect thing there to bring this all together. This is one of the best things about the group. Everyone is so willing to offer to mentor and lift up others. And that really is special.
Yeah.
Well, I use the term like this. I say, treat everybody like a crab in a barrel. Always uplift and pull that person up. Because if you don't, what good are you being in the position you are to not help someone else? Never kick someone down while they're trying to learn. Pull them up.
Mm-hmm.
About empowerment. We can't empower somebody else. We can't even empower ourselves.
Right, exactly. Yep.
It's kind of one of those other things, you know, you can't love someone until you love yourself, but if you empower somebody, maybe that'll give you love for yourself.
Right.
Well, and I got to tell you too, I remember my father one time teaching me this. It's like when you hear somebody say centrifugal force, but they say it's centrifugal, and they're not British, it's easy to make fun of that person. And I used to, right up until my dad taught me this lesson. He says, never make fun of somebody who mispronounces a word like that. And I said, well, Dad, why? He said, that's somebody who learned that word, what it meant, how to use it by reading. You don't want to get into a battle of wits with these people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's those kind of things that give us pause, you know?
That's very true.
And maybe help us get into each other's shoes. So we got about 4 minutes before 8:30. I'd like to go ahead and give everybody a chance to do a last second shout out, last second story, last second soul warming, and then we will meet back together on November the 4th.
Woohoo! Day after voting. This should be fun.
Yeah.
All I can say is that everybody out there, you know, the whole family, especially the administration, everybody, you know, that's what Samantha and Bonnie, they're working where they're working. They really are. Kat's in the background, big K out to her. You, Husky, Moss, Bobby Ben, Corin, Chad, everybody, Ming over who's going to be helping us with the location and staying there. You know, these are the shout outs. Casey Howell, you know, hearing the stories and every story that's out there. Just over this year, I just want to shout out that you guys have made the better part of my year here. Hell with COVID, all the deaths and everything else. You guys have really made it. So thank you. That's my shout.
Amen. Yeah, this has been the high point of the year for us too, guys.
I say this. I say that this year has had its ups and downs, and more downs than ups. But it's what you make of it and how you come out of it strong. It's either you're going to come out of it either made friends or made enemies. But why do that? Because there's all that crap already running around.
Yeah.
But we're at a point of our life right now that if we don't make a difference to help everyone else, this world is going to be worse than it is. How would you bring that into 2021? I mean, you got to have a better understanding before you walk into a new year. And I always tell people, yes, we have COVID. Yes, it's ramping back up. But here's the thing: you got a chance to change all that. So don't make yourself put yourself in a position with your neighborhood, your family, your city, your town, whatever. Change it. Wear your mask. Do what you got to do, and let's keep moving. Because the last thing we all need to do is be locked back down where we were before. In the movie, the music, and all the industry, because we can't take any more of that at all. So I mean, let's make the best of it. But I'm grateful to have friends and family like you guys. Without you guys, where would I be?
Mose, you got any last
Word.
second words of wisdom for folks here as we close in on the holiday season here, 2020, for the Lap fam?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hope you can hear me. Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, just making sure.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
There you go.
I want.
I mean,
That's
really,
something.
all I can say is life is too short. The world is too small. United we stand, divided we fall. Push yourself past your present, your limits, and never look back. Just keep pushing forward, and things are always. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So,
Yep.
Absolutely.
I can't think of a better word to end that on.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Oh well, the world is so small. Divided we fall. Come on, key of G.
Key of G. Yeah. And that's how we end it. Just a band crash.
Hey, that might be something. Bobby, we can get you an instrument. I'll go grab a guitar or something and get tuned up with Ben over there and see if I can remember how to play it. We'll end up doing just a jam session one day.
Right.
Listen, I think we can definitely handle it. Listen, you give me something. Give me something in the key of G. Give me something. Give me some old. Give me some Gerald Levert keys, man. We on point.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, Bonnie Bell just said, "This is why you stay till the end."
Right. Thanks, Bonnie. Word up. I appreciate that.
But if we do that jam session, y'all have to download what's called. It's called Sofa Sessions. That's the one I use. I'm also heard of that. Yeah.
No.
So that'll give us real-time play, even though this might be on, because we won't be able to play with this. It'll mess us up. But the Sofa Sessions in our ear gives us a real sync time.
Cool.
Nice. Okay.
Ooh.
I'll definitely check into that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have some fun at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we can sing some Christmas songs one night.
Hey,
Good idea.
I'm down.
get some Temptation Silent Night going on.
There you go.
We're gonna have to work on our dance moves.
Get the doo-wop girls in the back. We'll get Samantha and Bonnie doing doo-wop.
Word, right on. Y'all hear that, Samantha and Bobby? We need backup.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get some furs or something. We'll get it far over the misty mountains fall.
Oh man, we just stopped the park for you.
Change all the background to some snow and
Yeah. Oh yeah. I haven't fired up my OBS yet, but I'm sure my OBS will allow me to have some snow in the background. So I gotta fire it up eventually.
Hey brother, if your OBS is the same as my OBS and you need any kind of help with OBS, you know my phone number.
Absolutely. I just downloaded it a couple of days ago, so I've only just looked at the cosmetics of it and I haven't really touched it yet. So I'm gonna be getting into that soon. So I'll be definitely calling you.
Awesome. Anytime, Mose, anytime you like. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 20 of the Love America Tour live stream. I absolutely am happy you guys keep coming. Have happy holidays, and we will see you next week, November 4th, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye, guys.
Everyone, thank you for joining us again. Everybody have a good night.
Yes.
Think. Well, that's much more gooder.